Welcome back, my little nightmares. It's me, Queen Nightmare, and I'm just kind of angry right now. Have you ever read a manga and you're like, why are these characters together in the main picture, but in the freaking 2 chapters that you're reading, he is with another dude. And I mean, not in a relationship, I mean, just that type of relationship. And I'm just like, why the heck is this a thing? This is gross. It's just disgusting in a way because, well, he knows that the other person likes him, and he likes that person, but he does the other dude anyway. Just irks me and I want to just kill the main character. I know I can't say that on YouTube, but I just want to. It just makes me... I'm literally heated right now. I absolutely do not like the characters I'm reading, and I'm going to probably stop reading this manga. If you want to know what the manga is, it's called, I shit you not, I'm going to spell it out for you, okay? Itazura Neku Nigoyougin. And by the way, right now where I ended it on chapter 4, I'm sorry, it's not the 2 chapters, it's 4 chapters out of the 5 chapters I'm reading. The dude that's supposedly supposed to end up with the other dude walks in on them doing it. And I'm like, what the heck is this story? I hate it. It's making me mad. And I just want to murder someone. I want to murder the characters. Have you ever felt that way about a book? Because I've never done that about any other thing except the movie for Twilight. Because the books are way better. I'm just saying. Today we're doing... Did I just post a dreary or no? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just all over the place because I'm so mad. I was like, I'm going to do a thing. And then I read this book and I'm like, pissed off. Okay, so we're doing a Snarry. I'm going to murder someone if I don't calm down. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry about this. I'm even crying because I'm so mad. I hate being mad. Just a little thing to know about me. I know this is kind of personal, but if I ever get mad at someone and start crying, if you ever see me in public and I get mad at someone, which is probably going to be a real thing, I start to cry because I hate being mad at someone, because then I'm hating on myself because I feel that I'm being a horrible person. Because someone just irked me so bad that I don't want to be mad at them or hurt them in any way because I have an opinion they probably don't share. If that doesn't make sense, I'm sorry, but that's how it is with me. Otherwise, I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I'm at that type of place right now. Chapter 11. Harry's life quickly entered a routine at Grimmauld Place. In his mind, he had split the day between Voldemort, school, and Snape. Wait, what the fuck? Is he with Voldemort? Which story am I reading? Making sure this is the Snarry story. Okay, it's chapter 11. Okay. Mornings were dedicated to defeating Voldemort. Afternoons were spent in, as Ron had called it, remedial potions. Evenings were with Snape, though neither the potions master nor his friends knew that. They would have tagged their after-dinner studies for Voldemort. Harry's focus was much more narrow. Yes, there was a chance that if they could discover the secret of the markings, Harry could use that to weaken Voldemort's power base, but that was never where the young wizard's attention was gathered. So far he had given little thought to actually fighting the Dark Lord. He knew it would happen eventually. The prophecy had guaranteed that, but he had no idea what his part would actually be. Was it something only he could do? Or was it simply that he would be in the right place at the right time to do what anyone else in the same situation could do? The prophecy had not exactly been specific. I have a question for all you. Do you think it's gonna end like what happened to Snape? That's my question. Do you think Snape's gonna have the same ending as last time? That's my question for you guys to think about. Because I hope it not, because this is a Snarry story. Did I call him Snarry? Did I say Snape? I don't know. Whatever. A week after his first potion session, Harry reflected that the tutoring was going much better than he had expected. He was even having a hard time remembering why the class had been such a problem for him in the past. I can't believe I couldn't get this right last year, Harry said. He was just bottling the remains of his hair growth potion. His previous attempt, one of the first potions of the term, had sent both Harry and Ron to the infirmary for an emergency dose of Binny Bertleberry's back hair vanish cream. This try, though, had properly contained its effects to Harry's head and limited to the growth to only a few inches. To Harry's dismay, long locks proved just as unruly but slightly more distracting than his old style. So, a quick charm made him looking like his old self. Well, Snape said, I imagine it is easier to concentrate without Granger and Weasley here. Yeah, I suppose so, Harry said. I was going to say, yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so, Harry said. Harry said, and it's nice not having Malfoy around distracting me either. Have a thing for blondes, do you? Snape raised an eyebrow and smirked. Not bloody likely. Harry said. A week ago, that would have had Harry blushing, but he was finally getting used to such questions. In truth, he enjoyed able to talk about things like that without worrying about how someone would respond. He secretly suspected Snape enjoyed it as well, but hid it behind the excuse of trying to embarrass Harry. You know what? When are you guys going to be together and do the devil's tango? I'm kidding. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. If you haven't seen Alex, I think it's Alex Myers, if I'm right with his last name, but his name's Alex. He does movie reviews. He goes, Devil's Tango. I love that guy so much. He's amazing. Well, not like love, like cool love, like look up to love. That kind of got weird for a second. Anyway, even if I did like blondes, he is not my type. If I wanted to date someone who took hours to dress and fix their hair, I could just go out with a girl. Harry put the bottle in a box, holding a surprising number of successfully brewed potions. A frown creased his face when he turned around. Professor, how much do Voldemort's recruits know about what he's like before they take the mark? Snape looked from his own work. In what way? Clearly, they all know what he wants to accomplish. I mean, Harry's gaze swept the room aimlessly. Well, I've read some of the historical stuff about what he did before I was born. Most of it talks about him using the dark arts and being responsible for lots of deaths, but it's not very specific. Are you speaking of those you have seen and felt him him do? Yeah, I guess. Did they know how much he enjoys torturing innocent people? Do they know the kinds of things they're going to have to do for him? To some extent, yes. Some know more than others, depending on how they come to him in the first place. Harry frowned and began cleaning up his workspace. Draco knows. Harry detected it. Oh, okay, this is Snape. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. How'd Harry know this? Okay. Draco knows. Harry detected an unmistakable tone of regret in Snape's voice. He knows that he'll be asked to do, and what he's been asked to do. He knows what kind of horrors he will witness. His father raised a fine copy of himself, Harry. Draco knows what he's doing, and he wanted the mark. I thought you didn't know he was going to get to be marked. I did not know it would happen so soon. But I am a Legoman's... Holy crap! Okay, sorry, I shout a lot. So turn down your volume to like a 9. Well, a 9 meaning like from 100, like 9 to 100 kind of thing. Turn it down to a 9. So you can't hear me say this, right? Okay, cool. Legolamans, Harry, I can tell you today which students, Slytherin and otherwise, would accept the mark if they were offered. And I know which students know truly what that means. How can they know and still want to be a part of it? These children were raised in the Dark Lord's shadow, Harry. When I first knew him, he was a charismatic leader with ideas that could have changed all of the wizarding world, and not all of them in bad ways. But the true dark arts corrupt. He lost his ideals and dreamed only of gaining more power. By the time that was clear to the rest of us, we had already been marked, and our choices limited. And not a few of his closest supporters had also been corrupted by the same forces. He was once a political and social cause. Now he is now a religion, and a child raised in that fanaticism defines morality through their idols' words. It is not wrong if the Dark Lord says it is right. So there's no hope for any of them? Hope for those who would gladly see you dead. Harry frowned at Snape's words. Even now, with all of Voldemort's forces seeking him, Harry could not help but pity most of them. A few he hated, those he had met in the Ministry of Magic, were easy to despise. But the rest? How many were tricked into service? How many were born to it and knew no better? I see no hope for them, Harry. Those of my generation, perhaps. Surely, I'm not the only one who doubts. But Harry... But Draco was never given a chance. He was lost the day he was born. Have other students taken the mark? Harry had to know, but dreaded the answer. I do not know. I was not informed of Draco's marking after all. Snape said, the identities of the Death Eaters are protected for as long as is reasonable. If there has been no need for me to know, I will not have been told. I suspect, however, that Draco is the first. His father was and remains a valid adversary with a bad hairline. I'm sorry. I mean, damn. Like, let the hair go, my dude. I'm sorry, but at this point, try the hair growing potion. That's what he should do. Hair growing potion, and he's great. Unless he has a really bad... There's a difference between a good widow's peak and a bad widow's peak. Good widow's peak is like a little bit of a widow, and then he has a... I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying that I'm making a point. Yes, I'm making a little bit of fun of him, but I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm just having a little bit of fun because this situation is making me even more mad. In my opinion on Draco's loyalty is unnecessary. His marking is likely a precursor to more students being inducted. Ouch. Hit myself in the head. They would do that without you. They would do that without you. Not if I remain in his favor, no. If other students are marked without my knowledge, it is better indication of mistrust. Snape turned an empty bottle over in his hands as his gaze lingered in the glass surface. I have been called to the Dark Lord. He wishes to see me tomorrow night for an unusual long meeting. Harry blanched? Never heard of what that is. I've heard it a couple of times during the series, but I don't know what blanched means. Snape saw Harry's face and turned white and nearly smiled amused. There is little danger. If he has some proof that I am a traitor, he would not wait a day to see me dead. If he only suspects, then the task he has set for the new school year would reveal me. And in the meantime, he would use me to feed bad information to the Order. That he specifically informed me if I would be with him for at least a day is also encouraging. He expects me to have a reasonable excuse to be away for that time. He would not care about such details were I to be dead in 2 days. Draco will be there then, won't he? Harry, despite his eroding morale, was gratified to see the look of surprise on Snape's face in light of his deduction. You'll be going over which students to mark. Snape nodded. That is my belief, yes. It is the headmasters as well. Astute. You know what they're going to say, right? You have to kill Dumbledore. That's what your task is, Draco. Mm-hmm. Also, come give me a hug. You know what? I do like the actor who plays Voldemort. When Draco had to give him a hug, I was just like, you know what? That looks like very entertaining, but also very terrifying at the same time. Oh, man. Harry smiled at the compliment. Does that mean you'll know when they mark them? Perhaps. Why? Well, I was talking to Hermione the other day, Harry said. He had not intended on taking this route, but the opportunity seemed promising. A part of him felt bad for misleading the man, but he assured him that it was not really a lie. Plus, it was for Snape's own good. I'd really rather not have to feel another marking. Hermione thinks that the pain I'm feeling comes from Voldemort, not his victims. Not directly, at least. She thinks he's empathetic. No, he's a masochist. That's what I'm saying. He's a masochist. That's all he is. Just turns out he's like, why do I feel the pain when you're marking them? I'm like, ooh, you feel it too. Just that weird answer. I'm sorry. I'm ruining the moment. I'm very sorry. Hermione thinks that the pain I'm feeling comes from Voldemort, not his victims. Not directly, at least. She thinks it's empathetic and he feels what they do. Then I feel what he does. Snape raised an eyebrow. I had not considered that. It is possible. No sane person would choose to feel such pain, but yes, they would. Sorry. This world does not have masochism and sadism, right? Because no sane person would go through such pain. I'm like, have you seen the videos? You have no idea, honey. Which I haven't either, so I just seen like screenshots and I'm like, I'm okay. No sane person would choose to feel such pain, but the Dark Lord has not been sane for many years. Harry nodded. Anyway, Neville's parents were given a potion for, I guess, it's mental pain or something. Pain that's not coming from the body. It was his father that got it, actually, but I don't know what it's called. He can't exactly owl the hospital from here without the order freaking out. I can find that out. Harry was a bit shocked that Snape had agreed so easily. But if I do, and I can procure it, you will only receive it after I have fully studied its effects, and you will only take it under my direct supervision. Just kiss him already! Sorry. I'm getting so irked. Ugh! I don't know what it is. That story did not help. I'm sorry. I'm good. Harry quickly agreed. He only wanted it for the markings, and that was when Snape would be willing to administer it. And nothing he had said was a lie. Only he really did not want to experience another marking. It's a half-truth, which is half-lie. So technically, two truths can't make a lie, and two lies can't make a truth. So, what the fuck was that? Bad news, Harry, Neville said. Their group had finished dinner and left the order members from planning some new operation. Harry had an idea what Neville was going to say, but let him finish. Dumbledore wouldn't let me owl Gran. I don't know if I can find out what that potion is. I've been going through the library, but Neville thinks it was a brand new potion when they used it on his father. Hermione said, all the books are way too old. Even if we found out the name, I doubt we'll be able to find out how to brew it. Harry grinned. I solved the problem before dinner. Snape's going to find out what it is, and he's going to either get it or make it. Ron laughed. How did you manage that one, Harry? Well, there's probably going to be more markings before school, more students. Harry's revelation brought the tone down a bit. Guess we had to expect that, Ginny said. The others nodded. How many? Harry shrugged and explained the conversation he had with the potions master. What if Snape's doing our work for us? What's next? Well, if Snape's doing our work for us, what's next? I have a question. It would be a big twist. No. Well, the question's after this. It would be a big twist if, Hermione or Ron or Ginny, well, Ginny's going to probably be it because she's the one left out and Ginny hates Snape, will be the one that's marked because she hates Snape and wants to get back at him for doing stuff to Harry, and then she's going to probably cut a deal with the Dark Lord, and the Dark Lord's not going to, take up on it. You know what I mean? Why am I thinking that? That's so terrible. That's a bad twist, but hey, it could happen. I mean, haven't you seen movies? I had an idea, but I don't think you guys are going to like it, Harry said. So far, the only time I witnessed a marking was when I accidentally got pulled into it. So, there's no guarantee I'll just happen to be in Voldemort's mind for whoever's next. I need to be able to get in whenever I want. Ron jumped from his chair. Harry, no! There's no choice, Ron. I'm not happy about it either, but there's no other way if this is going to work. So it doesn't have to work then. It was a good idea, Harry, but we don't know if you'll be able to do anything if you are there for a marking. It's not worth it. Yes, it is. I'm doing this, Ron. I want your help. I want everyone's help. But I'll try on my own if I have to. Ron fell back into his chair. Merlin, Harry. At least wait until we're back at Hogwarts, then. I'm sure Dumbledore won't let any Death Eaters into the school. Then I thought of what happened in Half-Blood Prince. Oh, little do you guys know. Ooh. French kiss. Oh. Chef's kiss. That's it. Chef's kiss. French kiss is another thing. Hermione can find out more about what's going on if she can get into the school library. Right, Hermione? Ron's right, Hermione said. There's a lot in the forbidden section I haven't seen. You can lend me your invisibility cloak and I'll do more research. My question is that why is there a forbidden section in the first place? Why don't they just get rid of the forbidden books and no one will be able to touch the forbidden section? If you don't have a forbidden section, then there wouldn't be a problem. And Filch shouldn't be sitting up all night. You know what I mean? And then Snape and Harry could probably do something. I'm sorry. Just pissed. I'm pissed beyond belief. And this is The group sat in silence for a while. Harry knew he had to explain himself, but he didn't trust his voice. Everyone knew he was getting along better with Snape, but none of them knew exactly why. Yeah. I'm blanking him. Just make up a really weird answer. That's how you freak your friends out. One thing led to another, and you know. Oh gosh, I'm a horrible person. I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that. Ugh. Poo. Everyone, it was a lot easier to them all think they'd achieve a truce. But Harry was starting to think of the man as a friend. And he knew no one would understand that. But he also needs his friend's support. He could do it alone, yes, but he wanted to know his friends would be looking out for him, too. Finally, he whispered, "They're going to kill him." Puzzled looks prompted him to say more. "If I live long enough to go get into the school library, they'll kill Snape. I need to figure this out before the summer ends." Ron gazed down at the table. "Don't say it, Ron," Harry warned. Ron shook his head. "I wasn't going to. I don't like him, but I don't think he should die. Not if we can stop it. I guess, but if it comes down to him or you, Harry..." "Don't say that either!" Harry was nearly shouting, and his friends looked shocked. He lowered his voice. "I'm sick of people saying things like that, Ron. I'm sick of buying time with other people's lives. Ginny laid a hand on Harry's arm. It's their decision, Ron. It's their decision, Harry. You've never asked anyone to protect you. I still have to live with their decisions, Ginny. I can't keep people from choosing. But I hate hearing it. What do you need us to do, Harry? Neville asked. With a quick smile to Neville, for changing the subject, Harry said, "Well, I don't know if we'll be able to get back on my own, do I? I need you to wake me up if I get stuck in there, and to cover me if anyone finds out what's going on." What do we do if you won't wake up, Harry? Hermione asked. Look, I know you don't want to wait until we get back to school, but at least let us find out how to get you out of there. Harry was not too concerned about that. I always wake up eventually. And if he's not doing anything that hurts, I hope I'll be in enough control to pull away. If I want to. Or at least wake up if you guys are doing something. Give me 5 minutes. If I'm still in there, try to get me up. If that doesn't work, go find an adult and tell them that I'm having another vision, okay? I have a bad feeling that Snape is like listening to the whole conversation. He's like, the fuck you thinking? But then again, that's just me as Snape, if I was Snape. Though no one seemed too keen on the idea, they all finally agreed. All right, then. Harry sat down on the bed. Here goes. He focused on Voldemort, knowing it would take another urge of emotion to get him in. He thought about his parents and what Voldemort had done to them. Unbidden, his mother's voice came, pleading for her son's life. Sadness washed over him, then anger. Voldemort had taken everything from him, and he still was not satisfied. He was trying to kill Harry. His Death Eaters had just tried to kidnap his friends. They'd kill them if they could. Harry considered everything the Dark Lord planned. The anger grew. He was marking students. He was going to kill Snape. Soon, Harry's anger blossomed into hatred. Harry felt himself slipping away and found himself staring out of a familiar pair of eyes. I call him Wormtail. Kind of is. Wormtail stood across a well, he wouldn't know him as Wormtail, would he? He would have known him as, friggin' A, what is his name? So Wormtail would work. Wormtail stood across a long, dark table. A wide piece of parchment was spread out before him. Off to the side was a rustle of robes, and closing a door marked someone's exit. Peter! Pettigrew. Because now they call him Pettigrew, because he's here. She will not be leading the attack, my lord. Yes, I'm making him sound like a foofy asshole from a dark evil thing. You know those assholes that like they act so proper and then they fucking kill people. I'm saying the F word a lot today. You want to know why? Because I'm mad. I'm sorry. You have to like endure this unless you don't want to watch the video. I'm sorry. Don't leave me. She will not be leading the attack, my lord. Pettigrew bowed his head as he spoke. Bellatrix. Should I do the voice again, like I did in the last series? Bellatrix has grown unstable. We will use what she knows, but she cannot be trusted to control herself. If my Death Eaters meet resistance, we lost far too many in the Department of Ministries last time. because the fools wanted more to fight than to succeed. Tonight, I want all the crystal ball. That all tell us where the order is hiding. Then we will have looks like Harv. Sorry. Have our revenge on them and the boy. Wormtail bowed his head lower. And if it has been moved, my lord, your Death Eaters will want to know how to proceed. Tell them to return immediately if the orb is not there. They will leave no trace of their entry. Not a paper disturbed, or I shall be most displeased. And then, my lord, a gutturally growl happened. Please forgive me, my lord, but we know the crystal ball was in the museum archives 2 days ago. If it is no longer there, then one of the Death Eaters sent must be the spy. A spy? Do not be stupid enough to think there is only one spy among my followers. If they fail tonight... I was turning into Ticky Toby, I'm sorry. If they fail tonight, they will all die. I will take no chances. May I? Yes, if necessary, you may kill them. Thank you, my lord. Pettigrew bowed low. If that is all, my lord, I shall instruct your Death Eaters that they leave at midnight. Within Voldemort's mind, Harry frantically wished himself awake. He could get in, it seemed, but now that he was here, he realized he had no idea to escape. You idiot! You should have listened to Hermione. Always listen to Hermione. He fights Voldemort. He fought a freaking snake. He fought a freaking dragon in the movie, if you've ever seen that. He fought everything, and then he's still scared of Hermione. I'm serious. Hermione can kick ass, and she knows better. She knows everything. So if you lose Hermione, you're lost forever. She's like a Google Maps for in human form. No, this won't go away. Uh-oh. I looked a little bit ahead and I saw someone shouting from Snape and I went, whoops. He focused on his body. Oh, wait. He did not even know how much time had passed. Were his friends still waiting? Or were they trying to get him back? He focused on his own body and concentrated on returning there as hard as he could. Nothing. Now the panic set in. No shit. He knew he would return to himself eventually, but he needed to talk to Dumbledore now. A shockwave hit him. The force of a blow took his breath away. Suddenly, he was engulfed in painful heat. Now he was cool, shivering. When he opened his eyes, his teeth were chattering. Snape stood over him, holding a blanket. Hermione and Lupin stood behind the potions master. Oh, shit, you're screwed. This is like disappointing your parents. Behind the potion master, before looking concerned and relieved at the same time. Harry realized he was soaked. I feel better now. What happened, Harry? Ginny rushed to his side. You were just sitting there and then you passed out. Reoriented. What the frick is this word? Reoriented. Reoriented? There we go. Harry caught on. Sneaky girl, that one. I don't know. I guess I had another vision. Snape's eyes narrowed. He's like, you're so full of shit and you don't even know it. And Remus turned white. I don't think Snape buys it. Like, he knows Harry too much to know that he's fucking lying as shit. How bad was it this time, Harry? Remus asked. You were thrashing around, like last time. No, it was okay, Harry replied to everyone's relief. He suddenly remembered why he had to needed to wake up so urgently. I need to talk to Dumbledore now. I saw something, a plan for tonight. Harry jumped out of bed, still dripping. He's not here, Snape said. Nor can we contact him safely. Then Harry's mind raced. Shockbolt or Mr. Weasley. They're going to steal something from the museum. Somewhere. A crystal ball from the museum's archives. There are a lot of crystal balls, Harry. There are a lot of crystal balls, Potter. Snape laid a hand on Harry's shoulder, and the boy calmed down a little. Do you know what powers it has? I suppose to show him where we're hiding. From behind Snape, Harry heard a gasp. Snape turned around. You squeaked, Mrs. Weasley? Oh, Miss Granger. Mrs. Weasley. Miss Granger. Future Mrs. Weasley. I was right in the first place. I know what they're looking for. Is there anyone in the Order who works at the Royal Museum of Wizard History? Or anyone, or someone high enough in the Ministry to get inside? First enlighten us on what you think the Dark Lord wants. Well, as Harry and Ron know, I've been to every museum in London. That's hardly a surprise, Miss Granger, but you are wasting time. Snape's annoyance filled the room. Sorry, sir, but I knew a crystal ball in the Royal Museum. It was a replica, though, and the card in the case said that the real one was in the vault of the museum's archives. They said it was made of the High Priestess of Avalon. Oh, fuck's sake, Avalon. Avalon, damn, okay. Before Uther Pendragon was born, she first saw Arthur coming in it. The crystal is hollow and is filled with water from the Siring pool on Avalon. Legend says it can see through any magical protection. I'll get ahead of Tonks. Have her get to the museum with a team of Aurors. Lupin said. Wait, Harry said. Don't send Aurors. Snape looked like he was planning on saying something exceptionally condescending. Sorry, I'm like getting into it. Then stopped himself. What did you have in mind? Voldemort knows there's a spy. When he thinks there's a few, but it sounds like they don't. They know there's definitely one. Can we get someone to hide the crystal ball? They won't look too hard for it if it's not in the vault. They're not allowed to, actually. Voldemort said so. He'll kill them, Harry. Are you willing to send them to the fate rather than arrest and go to Azkaban? Would you rather get your soul sucked out of your body over like thousands of years or die immediately? Die. I don't want to be my happiness sucked out. No, thank you. That's pretty much my soul, so I like happiness a lot. They won't let themselves be arrested, will they? Harry turned to Snape, who shook his head. Not likely, no. The Dark Lord expects his followers to choose death over capture. They will fight to their last breath. So this way, the Aurors aren't in danger. Harry said softly. Remus nodded, then said, We'll get this information to someone, Harry. Don't worry. He turned to leave, and Snape followed him out. The door was still unlatched, and it opened a tiny bit after the potion master pulled it closed. The gap was still enough to allow the students still inside to overhear Snape call for Remus. Lupin, if you ever say anything like that to the boy again, I will personally drive a silver dagger into your heart. Damn! Wait, what the fuck did he say to him? Wait, I'm missing something. I am missing something. Are you willing? Okay, I'm thinking he's talking about the threat. Like, are you willing to send them to their fate rather than arrest and Azkaban? I think that's what he's talking about, but I could be wrong. What in the world are you? Potter is not sending them to their fate. Okay, I should have read ahead. I'm sorry. I had to, clarify because you guys kind of would be like, wait, what the hell is that too? Or is it just me? Because fate. They made a choice to follow, and the Dark Lord made a choice to kill them if they did not succeed. I assure you the possibility of death follows any failure on the part of the Dark Lord. Part of a Death Eater. Potter has nothing to do with it. How dare you? How dare you? Coach his advice in those terms. That's not what I meant, Severus, and you know it. I was making sure Harry knew what would happen is so he didn't feel guilty after it happened. He already feels guilty, and you were not telling him anything he did not know already. Then again, I would choose death over being my happiness sucked out of me by a freaking Dementor, right? Dementor, right? It's been a while since I remember the names of the things that suck out the happiness. He already feels good. And you were not telling him anything he did not already know. There are, at best, a handful of wizards in the Order who understand the Dark Lord as well as Potter has been forced to. You are not one of them. You cannot protect him from what he knows, and your attempts are at such. Oh my gosh. I want to clap talk, but that's not my nature. Oh, damn, go off, sis. And your attempts at such are only going to hurt him more. Whew. Thank you for defending me. The sound of the door closing marked the end of the conversation, and the group of Harrys remained silent as they listened to Remus's footsteps disappear down the stairs. Where the fuck did Snape's footsteps go? So don't talk about anything, because we'll talk about other things, but don't talk about that. Well, Harry said into the silence, I have never thought I'd hear that. Neville began to laugh nervously and was soon joined by the others. Yikes. Several hours later, you know what this relationship reminds me of? If you haven't seen the movie Leon the Professional, Chef's Kiss. I'm mixing my words up. Chef's Kiss, it's a wonderful movie. It involves a 12-year-old girl who has her family killed, and she wants to get revenge and kill them back. So she hires a hitman, who is literally the next door neighbor. So, and this relationship reminds me of that. Several hours later, Remus returned to Harry's room. His friends were still there as they all waited anxiously to hear about the museum. It looks like everything went fine, Remus said. Shockbolt got in touch with the chief curator, who agreed to hand the ball over to the Order for safekeeping. Dumbledore is going to study it and see if he can use it, but it's safe for now. Everyone let out a sigh of relief. "Way to go, Harry," Ron said. Harry responded with a weak smile. "And Harry, what I said before, it's okay, Remus. I know you didn't mean it like that. It's not your fault. They joined him, and it's not my fault. He's crazy. Snape was probably just in a bad mood and decided to take it out on you." "Yeah, we know a lot about that, don't we?" Ron added. Neville chuckled and Hermione rolled her eyes. Hermione rolled his eyes. Oh, wait, when did she get a sex change? When did she become a boy? When did she want to become a boy? It's just a typo, but I like that. That's Neville chuckled. Okay, no, it's supposed to be a her. Okay, yeah, it was supposed to be a her. Sorry about that. Maybe, Remus said. Or he's just being protective of you. It's easier to let him yell at me than when I think he's looking out for you. So I'll go with that. Remus gave Harry a wink. Ugh! I think he knows why he's protective. Remus is like me. He knows this shit. He knows. Well, like, not the part where he's like, "Do you know that you're gonna get him killed?" That I already knew. But like him and Potter and Snape, we already knew about that. Gave him a wink and headed into the hall. "You should all get to bed," Remus said as he strode off. "There's no easier way to get yelled at by Molly, and I don't want her thinking I let you kids stay up too late." That's true. You know what? I don't understand it, though. She can be, she can be very, scary. I think that's why Ron married her, because it's like his mother. There's a problem with guys who really like their mom, who like stay with their mom until they're like 30. They try to marry people that are just like their mom because they need that stability and what they want in a woman. Just to give you clues. Chapter 12. The night was spent despite both Remus's admonition. That's how it's spelled. Admonition. There you go. And Harry's wishes, debating the safety of what Harry had planned. "There's nothing to worry about," Harry said. "I'll talk to Snape tomorrow about why I couldn't get out of Voldemort's head. I'm sure he'll ask about it anyway. Plus, now we know how you guys can wake me up. You just need a bucket." I still don't like it, Harry," Hermione said. "What if Voldemort catches you? What if something goes wrong next time? The water worked this time, but that was probably only because you weren't in pain. You've gotten out when he was using Crucio before. Look, I'll talk to Snape tomorrow. Like I said, I'll have a lesson before he goes to see Voldemort and Malfoy." "Okay, Harry," Ron said, giving Hermione a look to keep her quiet. If you're sure you know what you're doing, we'll do what we can. It's just, we followed you past Fluffy, we followed you past Chamber of Secrets, we followed you into the Department of Mysteries. We're not used to you going somewhere where we can't follow." Hermione finished Ron's thought. I like how this story has Ron like having maturity, and then my other story, he's just a piece of shit. If you're not following along with both stories, you're so confused. Oh man, this Ron, I like this Ron. Why can't this Ron be in the movies? Ron in the movies was not smart. No matter what you tell me, he was not smart. Well, he did smart actions due to listening to Hermione or Harry. Or getting mad when he broke the necklace, if you remember that one. I have a lesson. Okay. You couldn't follow me all the way, though. Not to the stone, not into the Basilisk Slayer, and you couldn't follow me during the Triwizard Tournament either. Right. And look what happened. Hermione turned pale as her words came out before Harry could react. Oh, Harry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean like it sounded. It just seems like no matter how hard we try, we're never there when you really need us. You keep having to face Voldemort without us, which is gonna have to happen. Harry nodded. I know, Hermione. I know you didn't mean Cedric. And I know you guys want to protect me, all of you. Harry looked around at his friends. And I'll probably never be able to thank you for that. But Harry considered his words, then decided on the truth. I don't think when the time comes that I have any choice but to be alone. Harry told them what Dumbledore had explained in his office at the end of the last term. So, I think that's why I keep ending up alone with Voldemort, Harry said. Well, I wasn't alone after the tournament, but maybe that's why I made it out alive. Maybe it just wasn't time. That's silly, Harry, Hermione said. The prophecy doesn't say anything at all about you being alone. Besides, you're wrong. I've thought a lot about this, Hermione. Well, you're still wrong. You've never actually been alone with Voldemort. Your mother was there the first time. She began checking things off with her fingers. Quirrell was there when you found the stone. Ginny was in the Chamber of Secrets. And after the tournament in the Department of Mysteries, Voldemort isn't it supposed to be Ministries, not Mysteries? I'm really getting pissed off. Is it Mysteries or Ministries? Because I thought it was Department of Ministries, not Mysteries. This isn't the Scooby Gang. If they had a department, okay? And you keep on hearing me mess up over and over and over all the chapters, and I'm just getting pissed off because they say Department of Ministries and then they have Department of Mysteries, and I've never heard of Mysteries. I thought I did, but maybe not. Okay, Voldemort had a bunch of Death Eaters. If anything, Ron said, the prophecy means you need us even more. We've got to make sure the Death Eaters don't keep you from taking on you-know-who. Harry grinned. Good morning, Harry. Oh, morning. Oh. Gotta get my guy voice. Wow. Talking to the police delivery system like. They still think I'm 16 or like 12. One time they thought I was 12. I was ordering a pizza and I'm like, I'm almost 19. Are you kidding me? Because of how high-pitched my voice is sometimes when I'm on the phone. I can sometimes talk like this, and I don't even notice it, and my mom points it out, and I go, what the fuck am I doing? You know. I don't know what happens when I go on the phone. Morning, Potter, Professor Snape said as Harry settled into his chair. Tell me about last night. Harry shifted uncomfortably. He still did not want to lie outright to Snape, if he could help it. It started like it did before, so I guess we can assume you were right about what's causing the visions. Of course I was right. Snape waved his hand, casually dismissing the idea that he could have been wrong. You did not appear to be in pain, were you? You did not appear to be in pain. Were you? No, I wasn't. I can't figure out what I did wrong. I got myself out of it with that other time when Remus was in trouble. That is probably your overdeveloped sense of honor. A friend was in trouble, so you managed to extract yourself. Maybe. Harry said, not entirely convinced. I was in pain the other time, too, at first. He suddenly looked up. Wait a minute, Professor. Occlumency isn't supposed to affect the bond I have with him, right? But I blocked the pain from his crucio last month. I have been considering that myself. I am impressed you noticed that. My well-educated guess is that the pain you feel is leaking through the bond you share. But it is a side effect. It follows the path of your link, but does not travel upon it directly, if you will. That underscores the difference between your bond and mine. I cannot break out of the pain. Harry considered that for a moment. Maybe that's why he feels his victim's pain. If he can project that through the bond, wouldn't it make Crucio twice as bad? Snape raised an eyebrow at Harry, who smiled at the impressed look the potion master's gaze. That is quite astute, Harry, and it may be even correct. A summer of wonders, no doubt. Harry chuckled. Snape's jab seemed to have less sting lately. The Dark Lord's curses are far more powerful than other wizards. You can build up a tolerance. Jeez. Oh, damn. So that the other wizards can't hurt you. Even more so for his Death Eaters, perhaps. So it's twice as bad when he crucios you than when he did it to me. Harry grew pale. If your deduction is correct, then yes. Though after a few moments under the curse, it ceases to matter. I suppose Harry had a feeling that he was right about Voldemort's use of the bond with his Death Eaters, and it served to make him despise the Dark Lord even more. He made his followers suffer even more than his enemies. Well, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. That is a saying, so that's probably what he's doing. Professor? Harry steered the conversation back to his own agenda. What did you think I can do to make sure I pull away from his mind if it happens again? I think I have the occlumency part down, but after that, well, I thought I was doing the same thing last night that I did last month. There are some techniques common to many similar spells and rituals that may help. Astral projection. There we go. I was like, what the hell is this thing? And then I was like looking at it, I was like, astral projection. Pretty much having your spirit leave your body is a fairly rare skill, even among wizards. But I have some familiarity with the theory, if not the practice. You will learn them, and we shall see how useful they are. However, Harry, I must remind you how dangerous it is for me to be in the Dark Lord's mind at all. You to be in the Dark Lord. I must remind you, you how dangerous it is for you to be in the Dark Lord's mind at all. We do not know what kind of control he can exercise over the bond you share, nor what kind of harm he can cause you should he discover your presence. Harry nodded in understanding, but Snape continued. You cannot allow yourself to become so engrossed in your emotions. Perhaps if your friends knew your secrets, if you cannot not control your emotions on your own, talk to your friends. Talking to your friends may aid you. Harry's stomach turned at the thought to telling his friends he's gay. He knew it was not entirely a logical reaction, but he still pushed the idea from his mind. Besides, he had been in control of his emotions this time, but he could not tell Snape that. Well, yes, I would like to, but I don't think I'm ready yet. Anyway, I was thinking too much last night. I'll be more careful about where I let my thoughts go in the future, I promise. And he would be careful, but not quite the way Snape would assume. For his part, Snape simply nodded. Very well. On to the lesson then. Snape spent the next hour discussing theories on how Harry could find his way back to his own head. Snape left right after the lesson, leaving Harry to find his way to the attic where Trunk, earthy baby names, lavender, sage, grass, trunk, cytoplasm. If you haven't seen SS Sniper Wolf watching really funny TikToks, that's one of them. That was my favorite. Trunk got me. Okay. Tonks and Mundugnus. Can you just say their freaking first name? Then we all know who the heck they are. Because long names. Waited for him and his friends. In the past week, several members of the Order had taken to assisting Snape with their training. Harry was not sure if that was merely a result of boredom or a desire to help, or if they knew the students would need the skills sometime soon. He was in no mood to ask. Let's see what Severus has been up to, shall we? Mundunganus. If I say it wrong, I'm sorry. Stop using last names. Maybe I would know who this is. I don't remember the first name. Said with a grin. She singled Harry out and immediately began an assault of curses and hexes. Harry began, having learned always to guard in the attic, responded with a solid defense. Grazed with a few hexes, he let nothing serious through, and decided to turn the tables on the short man. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a man. I called it a her. Or I was picturing a woman attacking Harry. Oh, whoops. On the short man with an assault of his own. After all, Snape had certainly never taught them to stand and bear the brunt of an attack. Soon the two were in an outright duel. Harry was suspicious. Sure enough, the nagging in Harry's mind turned to warning as them. He reached into his coat pocket and threw something directly. Physical attacks were against dueling rules, as Snape had taught them. Death Eaters did not care about that. Harry leaped out of the way as a rock sailed past him and bounced off the wall. Harry was in a bad position for a spell. His body twisted away from his opponent as he fell against one of the chests they had cleared from the center of the room, letting his momentum carry him over it. Harry barely dodged the blasting curse that shredded the tapestry next to him. He landed face down and knew he would have to expose himself to free his wand and hand trapped beneath him. Instead, he began to grab a metal candelabra and hurled it. Without looking at the M, I'm going to call him M. His aim must have been good as he heard Magnus' next spell get cut off short. What happened? Why do you have a big bruise on your face? I got hit by a candelabra. It went flying. How do you explain that? I'm sorry. I'm just picturing it in real life. Someone just like hiding behind something and throwing something and hitting someone in the face. Where did it come from? I have no idea. Oh, man. I'm having too much fun now. Finally, Harry was free to push himself up, just in time to see the short man rolling over of the way of a heavy metal ornament. His wide grin let Harry know the little thief was enjoying this. Harry took it in his surroundings, just as Snape had taught him, and came up with a plan to end the match. M had thrown himself in on top of an old rug, and Harry took advantage of it. Harry had not even finished the levitation spell aimed at the far edge of the rug when M spun around to cancel Harry's attempt. With his back to him, M never saw Harry reach down and grab the rug's near edge on his hands. Pulling up, Harry sent the old man and more importantly, his wand sprawling across the floor. Accio wand! Harry called out. M rolled over, gratifying Harry with a confused look. When he caught sight of Harry, he began laughing. Planned that all along, didn't you? M asked. Harry grinned. Sure did. You knew I'd go for the rug as soon as you landed on it, didn't you? With the spell, yes, at least I hoped you would. But would you have been disappointed if you'd missed it? Didn't see that coming, though. He pointed to the rug, still in Harry's hand. Good to see Severus is teaching you real fighting, not the crap that they teach in the dueling clubs. M stood and retrieved his wand from Harry, who was panting from the exertion. M, though, looked as if the whole thing had been no less strenuous than a walk through a garden. His clothes were still a bit askew, but that was nothing unusual for him. Okay, then, who's next? The following day presented a break in student schedule. Snape had not yet returned, and Kingsley Shacklebolt, who was waiting for the potion master to return as well, offered to show them how the strength and stamina training that oars underwent. The elder wizard walked them through a series of exercises. The best spells in the world won't help you if you're too exhausted to cast, he said as the group jogged around the upper floors of the manor. Harry was grateful for the exercise, as he had spent most of the previous night worrying about Voldemort. I'm sorry, my Voldemort voice is like, I want to get out. Let me speak. No, bad Voldemort voice. Closer look into Snape's... Wait, what? previous night worrying about Voldemort, deciding to take a closer look into Snape's mind. As tired as Harry was from his night of fitful sleep, the distraction of physical exhaustion was welcome. How much do you want to bet one of the Aurors of the group of Order of the Phoenix, right? Phoenix? Yeah. I had to second guess myself. Is one of the followers, but he's hiding his mark. Like he's a spy for the people there. I have like a sneaking suspicion it is. Not Snape, I mean someone else. The activity was welcome for another reason too. After the group finished for the morning, as they all made their way to lunch, Harry tottered up beside the Auror. "Excuse me, sir." "What is it, Harry?" the man asked, resting his hand fondly on Harry's shoulder. "Well, I wanted to thank you for taking the time today with us. And I was just wondering, and don't think we don't appreciate it, but why is everyone so willing to help us train? I don't know why Professor Snape's doing it, or I know part of why, but I guess I'm kind of surprised that the Aurors are doing it, too." Shacklebot frowned and indulged in a small sigh. "Please don't thank me, Harry. I would much rather be telling all of you to run off and play a game, or get a head start on next term. But we cannot afford that, I fear. The Dark Lord has had years to gather his followers, and they have recruited new wizards to his side. We do not have the numbers we once did, and we cannot afford to turn away all allies." Harry nodded in understanding. None of us are happy to see you or your friends involved in this. But we know better than to believe you will not fight, simply because you are not prepared. Harry took exception to the man's choice of words, and opened his mouth to protest, but did not get a chance to. "That speaks highly of you and your friends, too, Harry. No one would blame you if you wanted to hide from all this, but here you are, ready to face what comes. We have not spoken about it, but I think several of us have decided that we will not allow you to face that unaided. That sounded weird. Harry was not sure how to respond to that. It was scary to consider the full weight of Shacklebolt's words, as he simply said, "Thank you." Harry entered the kitchen behind his friends and found Snape helping himself to some tea. "Professor!" You were excited to see him? Like, everyone, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Oh, I keep on saying the F word. I'm sorry. If that, like, makes you mad, please let me know in the description. I really would like to know. Professor! The dark man simply raised an eyebrow at Harry, and even Ron looked confused at Harry's response. "I'm glad you're back. Did everything go okay?" "Considering that I was there to discuss Mr. Potter, I would say it did not go well at all." Harry frowned. He had not spent much time thinking about what the meeting meant beyond the inherent danger to Snape. "How many? And what makes you think I would tell you, Mr. Potter?" "We're going to find out eventually, aren't we? Dumbledore isn't letting them in next term, right? So, once we see who's missing from the Slytherin table next month, we'll know. You're just trying to look mysterious and stop rotting. Harry replied. Neville choked on his sandwich, and Hermione looked scandalized. Snape gazed coldly at Harry until the boy started to squirm in his seat. 7, he said finally. Harry exhaled a breath he had not realized he had been holding. Though you will only suffer from the loss of 4 from my house. You will only suffer from the loss of 4 from my house. 3 Ravenclaws? Ron asked. 2, Weasley. You are all far too quick to judge others. Interesting that the only stereotype that ever seems to hold true is the Gryffindor tendency to stereotype the others. Hufflepuff will find itself missing 1 of its 7th years. No Gryffindors, though? Ron said, puffing out his chest. Of course. Snape narrowed his eyes at the redhead, and Harry spoke up before his friend dug himself into a hole. Let it go, Ron. I'm just glad it was only 7. I expected more. As did I, Snape said. And in truth, I know of others. Slytherins and a Slytherin and not, who would take the mark. Obviously, however, I've kept my opinion to myself. Malfoy's arrogance is working for us. It was a mistake for the Dark Lord to take him alone. He was allowed the honor of being the first of his generation to be marked to go to his head. He finds fault with his fellow students. He feels his fellow students are beneath him. If there are Gryffindors who would join the Death Eaters, Malfoy would never allow himself to see that. So whatever Malfoy wants, Malfoy gets, basically. So every spoiled rich kid ever. Well, it doesn't matter, because none of them would, Ron said. Snape laughed, a barking, caustic laugh, filled with spite. Mr. Weasley, you truly are a fool. A whispered truth has no power over shouted lies, it appears. With a disdained shake of his head, Snape stood. You have potions tutoring when you are finished with lunch, Potter. Do not dawdle, please. When Snape left, Ron snorted and stuck out his tongue at the doorway the professor had exited through. Everyone knows that no Gryffindor would take the dark mark. Ginny leaned past Neville and smacked the side of her brother's head. Honestly, Ron, you really are thick. Forgotten about Wormtail, have you? Ron's eyes grew wide. Well, he frowned. I guess he's right. But I hate to think that someone from our own house would go dark. It's just easier to imagine some dirty Slytherin doing it. Problem is that in my other video, Hermione and Potter are dark. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Okay. It's just easier to imagine some dirty Slytherin doing it. Hermione spoke up. He's right, you know. We can't assume anyone's loyalty based on their house. Come next term, we need to be careful, really, really careful. The other day, Remus said that we five remind him of the Marauders. Then he got really quiet. I guess he was remembering what happened to them. Do they not know the Marauders he was one of them? Remus was one of the Marauders. So was James and Lily and Wormtail and Sirius. I'm trying to count on my fingers how many I said. Wormtail, Sirius, no. Well, Black. Sirius, Black. James, Lily, and Remus. So 5. So yeah, he was one of the 5. Which he misses his family. Well, family, yes, of friends. Pretty much a family. I'm not going to start worrying about that, Harry said firmly. Hermione's right. We need to be careful around others. But I'm not going to start doubting you guys. Maybe my father said the same thing once, but I couldn't keep doing this. I hate my father at this point. He doesn't like his father at this point in time of his life. And everyone knows why except the people in the room. Maybe my father said the same thing once, but I couldn't keep doing this. I didn't know I could count on all of you. Snape may think it's foolish, but I don't. Oh, Harry. I don't know why it sounded like an old lady saying it. Oh, Harry. Hermione threw her arms around Harry and squeezed him tight. What a sweet thing to say. But it doesn't matter, because it's not a mistake. We'll always be here for you. Harry returned the hug awkwardly and pulled away. Yeah, he's like, I'm gay. Like the 2-pat. That's a dude pat too. But I think he did a slow 2-pat because you don't know what you're doing. Affection, right? Well, I meant it, he said, with a shy smile. Anyway, I have to go before Snape transfigures a cockroach into Filch, so he can give me detention for being late. What the heck is that sentence? I'm like, wait, they're not in school yet. Upstairs, Harry let himself into Snape's room with a gentle knock. He headed over to his table and stopped when he caught sight of the professor glaring at him. What exactly was that about in the kitchen, Potter? Snape asked, crossing his arms. Sir? You're gonna beat me. I would, sitting in a chair, I would literally duck down and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Sir, I will not tolerate you showing off for your friends. When we are alone, I will allow you a certain amount of latitude, and I, too, am more casual when we are practicing occlumency and potion. But I am your professor, and just as importantly, I am theirs, too. If you cannot handle a more relaxed relationship with me in private, then I will not permit one. You will not undermine my authority with others. Facepalm all the way. That's not what he's doing. He's trying to be more truthful with everyone. Even you. He was trying to be honest, not your friends or anything. If they see you behaving that way with me, they will do so as well. Then they will resent you for getting away with it when they cannot. I wasn't... Yes, I know, Harry. You were playing a game of, look what I can do. What? I'm sorry, but that makes me laugh. Because that's full of shit. And what is more, you know you pushed too far. You are mature enough to see that. Harry chose not to answer, and Snape did not push him for a reply, instead giving him a final piercing look before putting him to work. As this was a potion Harry had never managed to brew successfully, the potions master stood beside him, explaining the works of each ingredient as it was added. Finally, when the concoction was simmering, Harry had a chance to change the subject. Are you going to tell us who's going to be marked? Is that really necessary? As you said earlier, you will learn soon enough. And it is quite possible that some will refuse. I do know that I wish not to prejudice you against your fellow students. Should I and Malfoy be mistaken about their loyalties? Harry had no reply to that. He did not feel the accusation was entirely fair, but knew his past actions were less than flattering. After all, Harry had spent years assuming the worst about Snape. And wait, why are you putting yourself down? Snape did the same thing to you. He assumed the worst about you, like you were his father, about judging people that are from LGBTQ communities. That's not right. So he, too, is not in the right either. But what the fuck did I go? After all, Harry had spent... And only Dumbledore's revelation that Snape had been and still was a spy had changed Harry's mind. Instead of commenting on Snape's jab, he said, I could not just watch you tell him. Then I'd know everything. Snape tensed up beside Harry. But I didn't worry. I didn't. Don't worry. Oh, okay. This was Harry. I could have just watched him you telling him. Then I'd know everything. Snape tensed up beside Harry. But I didn't, so don't worry. Purposefully entering the Dark Lord's mind may be the stupidest thing you are capable of, Potter. And should I ever discover you doing so, I will see to it that you spend the rest of your life drugged to just the side of consciousness in order to prevent you doing so again. You said that all wrong, Harry said absent-mindedly as he stirred his potion. You mean you'll kill me if I do it? Keep me conscious would give the impression that you'd rather me survive your punishment intact. Can't have that rumor floating around. Anyway, I said I didn't. Harry reminded him, trying to ease the tension. I could have, though. It wouldn't be too hard. Happens easily enough. When I don't want it to lately. Harry, we still have no idea if the Dark Lord is capable of discovering your presence, nor do we know if he'll be able to use the link to hurt me. I know that, Professor. Snape gave him a measuring look. It wasn't worth the risk, so I didn't do it. And what exactly would you consider to be worth the risk? Harry shrugged. I don't know.
I'm not going to sit in his head all day hoping to catch some piece of information. I've seen what he does for fun, and I'd lose my mind if I had to watch that. It's been dumb luck so far that I've seen things that have helped. I'm glad you see that. I'm glad you see that, Harry. I had not mentioned it to you until now, but because I feared that planting the idea in your head would do more harm than good. I should have realized you would have at least considered the possibility of establishing the link on your own. And by entering his mind, you are taking a greater risk than I am when I respond to his summons. I know exactly what to expect, but there is far too much unknown about your bond. Harry nodded once again. He consoled himself with the knowledge that he had not technically lied to Snape. He had said nothing at all about testing the bond later. He had simply pointed out that this time he had not used it. It was not lost in the young man that even a few months ago he would have lied outright to his professor without a twinge of guilt. The potion finished setting, and Harry bottled it before cleaning up his work area in a comfortable silence. When he finished, Snape mentioned for him to come over to the potions master's own cauldron. This is the first stage of the potion you asked about. The one they gave to the the Longbottoms. It is quite extraordinary. Actually, the potion was used long ago to combat what is called phantom pain. Within a wizard experienced pain from a lost limb, it deals directly with the parts of the brain that handles pain, just as most Muggle drugs do. Since most limbs are regrown magically, the potion has fallen by the wayside. This batch should get you through the markings. And no, you will not be permitted to help me brew it. Harry chuckled at the reminder of the help he had tried to provide when Remus needed the Skelly Grow potion. When? Harry asked. The week before the new term. If there is any chance, I will be informed immediately. Okay. Harry was uncomfortable making plans like these. He did not want to think about people who had grown up with. He had grown up with, even those he disliked, joining the Death Eaters. Harry turned to leave and had a foot in the hallway when Snape's voice stopped him. You were wrong in the kitchen, by the way. Another Gryffindor trait is jumping to conclusions. I would not say that trusting your friends is foolish. If anything, most of the Order fears that when the time comes, you will not trust them either. Trust them enough. Close the door behind you, please. Is this foreshadowing? Because I think Ginny is. I don't think Neville will. Neville loves him too much to turn to the dark side, and he would do anything for Harry Potter. So I think it's Ginny, because Ginny hates Snape with a passion, because she felt so picked on when he was training her. So how much do you want to bet it's her? Harry did as he was told, knowing that further discussion would lead nowhere, after he had been dismissed. Typical Snape, leaving the most interesting part of the conversation till the end. He returned to his room to find Ron and Neville doing push-ups on the floor. Not me, bro. Both boys had spent time after lunch speaking with Shacklebolt, drilling him for tips on how to get stronger before the summer was over. Hermione sat on Harry's bed looking through one of the notebooks he had filled with ideas about the Dark Mark. At the table, Ginny was writing a letter to someone. Probably Dean, even though it was unlikely she would be allowed to mail it anytime soon. The young wizard considered his how much do you want to bet Dean's gonna be there too? But I thought Dean was part of the good guys too, but you never know. In this universe, anything can happen. Literally didn't know anything could happen in the other universe, and it just hit me like a truck. I had to take 30 seconds rambling about it, maybe even longer than that. The young wizard considered his professor's words. He did trust his friends. He trusted them with his life, but he still had a secret he cannot yet. He had not yet brought himself to trust them with, and it hurt a part of him to admit that. He had no rational excuse for secrecy. He should tell them. He doubted any of his friends would turn their back on him over this. Not after they had proven themselves in the face of a band of Death Eaters just a few months before. And even if they did, it was better to find that out here. And now, instead of in the heat of battle, Harry pushed that last thought out of his mind, and it was not fair for his friends to think like that. It was not fair to his friends to think like that. He had just promised them he would have faith in them. He would keep that promise. "Hey, guys," Harry said, pulling the door closed and settling on the foot of the bed. "Listen, there's something I wanting to tell you. Ron and Neville sat on the floor, and Ginny put her quill down. "What is it, mate?" Why do I have accents when I try to read things? It's probably I'm channeling the character, I guess. I don't get it. Well, it's nothing really. I mean, it's nothing as important as all the stuff we've been talking about lately. Voldemort and the Dark Mark and such. Harry twisted at a loose thread in the blanket he was sitting on. But I keep putting it off, and I really don't know why. But every day I wait. It's hard. Every day I wait. It's harder to say than it is the day before. Because how do I say this? Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you this yesterday or last week or the week before that or last year. So I don't want to keep doing that. And I don't want you to feel bad that I didn't tell you until now, because it's completely not about you. It's just me being stupid and scared and not wanting to say it. Harry gathered the courage to look around and recognize the terror in his friends' faces. Like, is this really serious? What did they expect him to say next? Like, I got a woman pregnant, we're getting married, and Voldemort's my dad, actually, and Hermione's my sister, and we tried to kill Ginny Weasley. Oh, wait, no, never mind, wrong book. Which Ginny is dead, if you watched my last thing, apparently. What did they expect him to say next? Whatever it was, the truth probably would look better than what they are imagining. He let his friends off the hook. I'm gay, he said quickly. I'm sorry I didn't tell you before, but I guess I just wasn't ready. He stared at Ron, worried most about his best friend's reaction. Once the words sunk in, Ron tilted his head back and started laughing. Merlin, Harry, I thought you were going to tell us you had a duel with Voldemort tomorrow, or something. Ginny and Neville chuckled too. Bit dramatic there, Harry, Neville said. Well, his kind usually are, aren't they? Kind? No! Ginny, you didn't. Kind? There's only one kind. It's called humankind, not humankind and then the gay kind. It's okay. Okay, now she just triggered me into a whole other dimension. Oh my gosh. 5 comments. I'm not gay, but Ginny, don't call us out like that. I'm looking at the people who are commenting. Ginny, shut the fuck up. You aren't allowed to call us out like that. Oh my gosh. I love this so much. I love the comments. That was perfect. Harry blushed, and Ginny got up and gave him a peck on the cheek. I'm just teasing, Harry. Oh, thank fuck. Ha, 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 ha. Funny joke, Ginny. I just found out her name was Generva. I'm hoping I said that right. Yeah, Generva. Okay, anyways. Ginny got up and gave it... Oh, yeah. I'm just teasing, Harry. You don't have to worry about me and Ron. Mom's got a gay cousin. Everybody got a gay cousin, but I don't have a gay cousin. Wait, oh my gosh, I'm the gay cousin. Everyone has a gay cousin. We just sort of grew up with it, I guess, and never saw the big deal. Ron nodded behind her. Gran'll have a fit, Neville said and smirked. Me sharing a room with one of them. But she also thinks that muggle clothes should be illegal, so I don't think too much when she gets going on stuff like that. I'm surprised, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Harry smiled and sighed with relief. Snape had been right. I did feel good to say it. It did feel good to say it. He looked over at Hermione, who was looking back at him with an unreadable expression. He had said what he needed to say. Now it was her turn. Well, of course I'm still your friend, she said. Her voice was sharp to Harry's ears, tucking the quill into her journal to hold the place she dropped the book into. She dropped the book into the bed and headed to the door. I need to look something up in the library. Uh-oh. Girl, why are you upset? I don't understand. She didn't have a really big crush on Harry. Only for, like, the first couple of movies you could kind of see that she had a crush on him. But, like, Order of the Phoenix, stuff like that, she was crushing on, Ron more than anything, really, in those times. In the Triwizard Tournament. No. When did they go out? It was after the Triwizard. So, technically, Lavender's a thing with Ron. So, she's kind of hurting if it's going like the movies or the books. Well, Harry frowned at her retreating form. He heard her voice in his head and filled in where she had left off. Well, of course I'm still your friend, despite what you are. Ugh. Just stab it right there and just twist it. Ugh. Don't worry about her, Harry, Ron said. She'll come around. She's too logical to have a problem with something as silly as this. Probably just mad she didn't figure it out sooner. Probably. knowing Hermione. Yeah. Harry responded with a half-hearted smile and hoped his friend was right. Shit, I hope his friend was right. Damn.
Like, that was messed up. Oh, man. Poor Harry. Because, you know what I think is really cute? I really like, what's his name? In this story. I really like the friggin' A. Can't even think of his name. Like, I got distracted. Holy shit, it's almost been 2 hours. Okay, guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I hope you really liked this content. I'm gonna have to I can break it up in 2. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you are ready for the part, whatever. I really hope that you liked this one. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. Don't get me wrong. I would still kick the shit out of anyone who said that, despite of what you are. I don't care if you're Hermione, Ron, freaking Dumbledore, the freaking... You know what I wanted as a twist is that, what's his face? Noseless. Voldemort goes up and he's and his big secret with Harry, he just starts to talk to Harry about everything, and he tries to read his mind, and he reads that he's gay. He's like, "Oh shit, bitch, yeah, me too." Yeah. Oh man, I have the weirdest imagination ever. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had to speak my mind because then, you know. Thank you guys for watching. Be happy, be healthy. Always be loving! Because if you're not, I'll punch you in the face. Pwah. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. What was I gonna say? Whatever. I love you guys so much. Be happy, be healthy. Always be loving. Stay away from people. COVID's still going around. I know birthday parties are a thing. And next week I'm gonna have Luna over for 3 days straight, doing homework, and you're gonna hear her in the background of my videos, because I'm still gonna do the series. Thank you guys for watching. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Bye.